won't give you my website. You're going to have to find it yourself and do some research. But my name is Dan Bongino. I was a Secret Service agent. Spent 12 years with the U.S. Secret Service, 5 years with the New York City Police Department. Just started my third successful small business. I have an MBA from Penn State University in finance. I have a master's degree in neuropsychology from the City University of New York. And I have a bachelor's degree in behavioral learning from Queens College in New York City. Folks, Maryland is not a lost cause. You may have been told that, you may have been misled, but I find it convenient that the only folks who say that and believe it are Democrats. Remember, there are no lost causes. There are causes you believe in fighting, and causes you don't. This is your state, this is your home, that's your Deep Creek, that's your Ocean City. Those are your Catoctin Mountains. The statists don't own this place, you do. Don't leave, don't flee, that's not the answer. Our idea is we draw a line in the sand and we fight for them right here. I left my job to do this. I don't ask anyone else to do that, but I do ask for your support in this endeavor. We've put together a great organization, a great grassroots operation, fundraising, a strategy, and a media footprint that is peerless. And I ask for your support in our endeavor going forward. Thank you very much for your time. It doesn't matter what my number is. 10. Makes no difference. Why does it not make a difference? Because sooner or later, if you understand bond markets, money lending, credit and debt, what you think is irrelevant. All that matters is, at some point, people are going to stop lending us money. It's happened before, folks. Just Google it yourself. Argentinian financial collapse. It was the third richest country in the world. They went through a financial apocalypse because what happened? Folks stopped lending the money. Your opinion's irrelevant. Yes, spending's a problem. Spending must be cut drastically, immediately. But it's going to be forced upon us if we don't do it ourselves. You are either blissfully ignorant or are wearing blinders right now if you don't think that the spending levels we're at are going to collapse our economy. It pains me to say that. This is the country I love. See, I've done a lot of traveling, 27 countries, as a security representative for the United States. And it literally pains me to see my grandchildren's inheritance being spent away. But it makes no difference what you think. Sooner or later, this is going to come to an end. It's been said many times before. Ben Stein, I think, made this quote famous. What can't continue won't, and it can't. I've done a significant amount of travel in the region myself, and there are 2 points I'd like to bring up. First, we cannot allow Iran to get a nuclear weapon. The whole power structure in the region would change permanently, and there's no getting that back. We have to understand that. We have to be very clear on that. Secondly, what's the answer? Well, it's a two-part answer. We need pressure and conditional engagement. And when I say pressure, I mean pressure on their central bank, which we're starting to implement now, but we've given them an out clause. We also need pressure on their ports, pressure on their airlines. These are the kind of sanctions that are debilitating when implemented fully and when we commit to them. When I say conditional engagement as well, I mean we do not engage until markers and metrics are actually met. Not similar to what we're doing with the six-party talks with North Korea, where they say they'll do something and then we re-engage. We only re-engage when they completely dismantle. And I don't know what information was referenced here that they're not seeking a nuclear program. That is entirely inaccurate. They are enriching nuclear material to points that has nothing to do with energy, and they're developing nuclear triggers for weapons right now. This is not for energy, I assure you. Current wage law disproportionately impacts folks who live in inner cities or happen to be minority and happen to have criminal records. I think we have to be clear on this. Minimum wage is likely not going anywhere, but we have to be honest about the economics. And if you look at it from just a simple analogy, if you have a business owner who could hire another worker and that other worker is going to bring him in $8 an hour, but you have to pay him $10, why would you do that? We're all rational maximizers, right? You're down $2 for doing that. But we do have to be honest about it. The minimum wage isn't going anywhere, so we have to look at ways to bend that inequality curve. It doesn't benefit the folks who need it, and we need to look at things like waivers from a minimum wage requirement temporarily for businesses that would hire folks with a criminal record, maybe nonviolent offenders. and they would get a temporary waiver for doing that. It doesn't benefit us to keep these folks unemployed for the rest of their lives. They deserve a shot too, and they deserve a second chance. And that's some legislation we can look at for opening up the dynamic of wage law right now. Well, you asked for an analogy. I don't have to make up an analogy. One's already been made up by the great Friedman, who you referenced before. Why is government spending vis-a-vis stimulus inefficient? Well, there are 4 ways to spend money, as Friedman said. You can spend your money on yourself. Cost and quality matter, correct? You're buying a product for yourself. You can spend your money on someone else. Cost matters. Does quality? It's not yours. Of course it doesn't. Other people can spend other people's money on themselves. Does cost matter? No, it's not your money. It's someone else's. But does quality? You bet. You're buying something for yourself. You may say, wow, that's really inefficient. Think of the 4th way. Other people spending other people's money on other people. That's government. I don't have to think of an analogy. He already said it for us. Folks, the government's a necessity. We all know that. We need a good quality court system. We need an armed forces, police, fire, teachers. We get that. All we're saying is please stop spending our money on cowboy poets in Nevada. That's what happens when other people spend other people's money on other people. You don't care about spending money on cowboy poets. So the analogy's already there. We don't have to make up new ones. I want to be clear on something. I don't know any conservative who's saying throw immigrants out the window of a plane. That's not even funny.
No,
it's an awful joke, and it speaks to the problem we're having as conservatives. The problem is that we won the battle of ideas a long time ago. Ronald Reagan won Maryland in 1984 by 5.49 points. George H.W. Bush won Maryland 4 years later. We've won in this state before, but we've lost the marketing battle because of statements like that's absurd. No conservative thinks that. When it comes to the economy, healthcare, and education, what are conservative ideas? How hard of a sell is this? I think you could spend your money better than the government. Very simple. Healthcare. Here's a revolutionary idea. I think you and your doctor should make a medical decision, not a third-party bureaucrat. That's what they're selling, make no mistake. Education, even more revolutionary. I think if you're a kid in Baltimore City, you are entitled to the same shot I had at an education. They should staple a voucher to your school bag and say, you go wherever your parents tell you to go to get an education. You are entitled to that. Those are our ideas, not throwing immigrants out of a plane. That's an absurdity. That's a nonsensical statement. That is not what we stand for. We can win here. We have won here before. This is our home, folks. I ask you, please, do not give up. Do not cede any more ground. Draw a line in the sand now and say, I'm willing to fight for my ideas regardless of party affiliation or how far we're outnumbered. Because this is a fight worth having, and the loudest statements are made in the largest uphill battles. This is a fight we're going to win, I assure you. So thank you for your time. Thanks for listening to me tonight.